Hi and welcome. My name's Fiona Abel-Smith and today I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to condition polymer clay. We've all got that situation where you put your clay through the pasta machine and it comes out like this, crumbly scraps, although I'd have to say this isn't too bad compared to a lot of the stuff I've seen. And what I need to show you is how to get it from that to this in a few easy minutes. It's one of the demonstrations we do most often when we're up at the National Exhibition Centre for the British Polymer Clay Guild. So what I'm going to do, I've got a pack, it's just a pack of Fimo Soft. I've just opened it on the back just to give me a head start. As you can tell, it's not very soft, it's one of the older packets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open half the packet and then I'm just going to do a quarter at a time. So what I thought I'd do to start off with is I'm just going to condition 1/4 of this and do it in real time, the time that I normally condition my clay in. And if you have a look at the timing on the video at the moment and time me and we'll see how quickly I can actually do this. So I'm just going to take my clay and what I'll do is I'll do this once, I say quickly, and just take you through what I'm doing. I'll just do it straight away and then later I will go back and show you in more detail what it is I'm doing and how I'm doing it. Okay, I won't talk much whilst I'm doing this bit on the pasta machine because it'll be quite noisy. As you can see, this clay is quite old and it's not exactly quite the soft it says it is on the packet. And I'm doing this quickly because this is how quick I would do this at home. And everyone works at a different speed on the pasta machine, so don't expect you to do it this quickly as well. This is just the technique that I've got used to. And as I say, I will talk you through the whole thing in just a few minutes, but keep an eye on that timing. This is a 1/4 pack of clay. And let's see how long it does take me to get it from very crumbly to relatively soft. And I'd have to say it's nearly there. One thing you can't do, obviously watching this video, is get the feel, but I can tell you it's feeling very soft and it's also gone nice and warm, which is a good sign that the clay is getting conditioned. So I'm going to put it back through and I think I'm just going to change the setting on the pasta machine quickly. We will more or less be there, so it's nice and soft. I can feel it nice and warm in my hands. And the final check to make sure there's no cracking when you put the fold in it. So we now know, having sort of seen what's on the bottom of the video, how long that took me to do it. So let's go through the basics and go through a bit more about conditioning clay. When the clay first comes to you in its packet, it can have sat for a long time in either the shop or the warehouse or obviously in your own store as well. And what's happened is that all the different ingredients have become dispersed inside the packet when it's sat on those shelves. And what we need to do is the plasticizer in particular, you need to get the plasticizer back in and get it evenly distributed amongst all the rest of the clay. So what I did, I'll just show you the difference in how I was first taught to do it. What I was first taught to do was to take your clay and cut quite big slices of the clay. So I'm going to take that. And you then put it through, put your pasta machine to one of the thickest settings, and on this one, thick is 1 on mine, it goes down to number 9. And then you put the clay through your pasta machine and it comes out. Now as you can see down the bottom, this one is really quite crumbly. So you then pick it up and you put it back through. You pick it up, put it through in a couple of bits together, put it back through. Now no matter how many times you do that, it remains crumbly. And this is where most people get to, and they get frustrated and they think, right, that's it, we're going to chuck that away. So what I suggest, and this is just techniques that I've learnt from various people over the years, and I've put them all together, and this is how I now condition clay, is to take all that crumbly clay, we'll put that to one side because I don't normally do it from that stage, and we'll take exactly the same pack that I've been working on. So this is just as crumbly. I'm going to take another of that 1/4 packs. So what I do is this. Instead of cutting thick slices, I'm going to cut thin slices. You'll also notice how closely I've brought my fingers on the actual blade there. That gives you much more support. The other reason I like doing this is that over the years I have become so adept at cutting thin slices, and this is literally because practice, as we know, makes perfect. So we now have thin slices of clay. You can also tell when you cut your clay how crumbly it's going to be. As you can see, all these slices have fallen apart very readily. That means automatically I know this clay is going to be crumbly. You quite often see little white lines running down your clay as well, and that is another sign that the plasticizer has become dispersed in the packet. I'm now going to put the pasta machine down to a medium to thin setting. Now normally I would do it to 5 to 6 if I thought my clay was not too bad, because I already know that this clay is going to be very crumbly. I'm putting it right the way down to number 7. I'm then just going to pick these pieces up and just lay them into the pasta machine and just turn the handle and let the pasta machine do all the hard work from me. You can see underneath it's still coming out quite crumbly, but it's already forming together in many more pieces than it would have done if I was putting it through on a thick setting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take up some of those curls. Now the one thing you do need to do at this stage is try and make sure when you put just a bit of it back through that you don't have any folds at the top. You'll notice whenever I do things I try and make sure the folds are either at the side or at the bottom so that any air that gets trapped moves up to the top of the clay. I'm then going to put one hand underneath and I'm just going to collect this one piece as it comes through. And as you collect on your hand, so it tends to concertina and the folds tend to go from one side. So I know if I now turn this 45 degrees, I can put those through and those folds will be on the side. So same thing, and you see how much just in those 2 turns I've now got a piece that's starting to go together. Same thing, put it together so that those folds are at the sides if possible, and just keep working on that one piece. Each time I'm doing it, I'm collecting it and I'm turning it 45 degrees so that you get one piece that comes together. Once you've got one piece and that becomes quite soft and flexible, you can then go back and start picking up some other pieces. Same thing again, put it through, always making sure those folds are at the sides. Turn it 45 degrees, put it through, 45 degrees and put it through. The other thing which sometimes makes help, or certainly gave me a helping hand, I am actually right-handed, and you'll notice that I've got my pasta machine on my left-hand side. That's because I do all my manipulation work with my right hand and use my left hand just for turning the machine. But again, that's personal preference. But if you've never tried it, just swap it over and see whether it makes a difference to you or not. So as you can see, what I've been doing is as this goes through, I'm picking up and collecting more pieces. And because I've got that on a very thin setting, I'm now getting quite a bit of clay and it's quite a lot of concertinas. So now I'm going to put it up to setting number 5, which is a setting that I would more normally put my clay through on its first run. I tend to always end up with my clay on a medium setting, probably about number 3 when I'm working with it. So that's the setting I tend to work to. So I'm just using the clay to get all the excess bits up and then just carrying exactly the same through until you're getting a nice bit. Once it gets to a size like this, what I tend to do is I collect it in my hand, so I've got one side going there and one side going there. So effectively I'm turning the sides to the middle and then putting it through so that the sides are like that. This way you won't get those jagged edges at the top same, because each time you're turning the top into the middle. So if I do that slowly so you can see, pull it out, turn the edges into the middle, turn it 45 degrees, put through, edges into the middle, turn it 45 degrees. And that's what I'm doing, although I got used to doing it because I do it round the back when I'm doing it so quickly. And that, I would have to say, is now, let's collect up those last pieces and put them through a couple of times. That is now a nicely conditioned piece of clay. Again, it's got nice and warm in my hands. Just picking up all the extra pieces. And that is now ready to use. But you saw how crumbly that was. And if I'd have carried on trying to do it on the thick setting, it would have taken all that time to do and been so frustrating. Don't try and do too much at a time. If I know I've got crumbly clay, I will always try and do a quarter of a packet at a time. And then you're not straining your pasta machine too much either. But there you go, one completely conditioned piece of polymer clay done in a relatively short space of time. And that's it. That's how to condition scrap clay using the techniques I've learned from various different places. And that's also how I mix clay. So if I'm mixing clay, I do exactly the same, always folds the sides in towards the middle, and you can mix 2 colours generally in about 12 passes of the pasta machine by doing it in that way. And that's our first little video clip for the British Polymer Clay Guild with me doing my tips and techniques. If this comes out well, then I'll be doing a lot more. Thank you so much to Lizzie, who's been doing the most amazing camera work for me. You can probably gather I was a bit nervous, but hopefully that came through okay, and so if it works, we'll do more for you as well. That's bye from me for now. Bye.